You've got a kiddo with an autism diagnosis and you want to play a game with them. Well, what games are good? I'm going to explain which characteristics make games good for kids with autism, and then I'm going to give you a list of games down below. The games are going to be organized for kids under 6 and over 6. Okay, the first thing you got to pay attention to is the pacing of the game. Does the kiddo have control over the pacing and transitions? Because if they don't, you're risking a meltdown. You want kids to feel like they're in control. If the game is moving too fast for them, they should be able to slow it down. If it's moving too slow and they want to see the next thing behind the card, let's be able to accelerate it and give them that opportunity to move at the pace that they want. The next thing we're going to consider is sensory sensitivity. Does this game have a loud buzzer? Well, that's not a good game. Does it have like a weird touch? Do I have to touch something that's going to make me uncomfortable? That's not good. Imagine nails on a chalkboard. You know how that irritates your ears and your brain? Well, for kids with autism, different sensory stimulation could feel like nails on a chalkboard. So we want to make sure that there's nothing that could be too jarring for someone with sensory sensitivity. Are the rules clear? Is there ambiguity in the rules? If there's ambiguity, it's probably not a good game. We want clear, consistent rules so that kids can predict what's happening next. Is it a game that requires negotiation? Maybe like Monopoly? Well, we probably don't want to have that game. It's a little disruptive. People are yelling at each other. It's loud. It could be really overwhelming for a kid with autism. Lastly, think about the skills you want this kiddo to learn. Every game is an opportunity to learn skills while having fun. Do you want to work on fine motor skills? Do you want to work on communication skills? If so, maybe you want to have a game that involves other players. If you just want to work on motor skills, then you want something that involves a lot of fingers and details of movement of the hands, like drawing. The first game I like is called Sequence for Kids. So this is the link on Amazon. Pretty affordable, it's 15 bucks. And here's why I like it. First is, it's strategy, but it's really simple strategy. You can get 4 in a row of any animal that you pull from the card. Second reason is it's team-based, so you can have up to 4 players. We can practice a little bit of social skills while we're doing it. And then the third is we practice some fringe vocabulary because we have to figure out how to say these different words. We have to focus on saying long names like alligator. Second game that I like is called High Cherry O. Really cheap. This is only $11, shipped, delivered to your house. And this one's also super simple, but it's focused on numeracy. So here, what happens is you spin this little wheel, it lands on something, and that gives you how many apples or cherries or lemons you can put into these baskets, and your kids have to count how many they're putting in. Also team-based, really simple. We're learning about a little bit of fruit, but this one's focused on numbers. The third one is Goalie's Graffiti Street. This one, different from the others, is more for solo play. So here kids pick a canvas and they're working on their fine motor skills. So they click on each open area and they can fill it in with any color or pattern that they want. And there's rockets and there's trains and there's boats and there's sports, and so it's kind of like something for everyone. They play on their own. There's some really light stimulating sounds, and this is part of the Goalie therapy suite, so there's some other things included in there. You can see this at getgoalie.com.